I gave it everything. That's what Lewis Hamilton said over the radio after finishing at Spa. On the surface, it looked like a solid recovery. 7th place after starting from the pit lane. But this wasn't really about the position. It was about the message behind the words and how carefully he chose them. Moments after crossing the line, he added, "Sorry about this weekend, guys. Lost you some points." There was no drama in his voice, no raised tone, but every word was loaded. It wasn't just disappointment from one race. It felt like frustration carried through an entire season. Hamilton had climbed his way up through the field, made bold overtakes, took risks others wouldn't. But even with all that, the end result felt strangely hollow. Not because of where he finished, but because of what it exposed. This wasn't simply a tough Sunday. It was a subtle warning, a signal that something isn't right. He's been through difficult weekends before, but this one felt different. It wasn't about the fight on track, it was about the feeling off it. Ferrari came into the Belgian Grand Prix full of confidence. New upgrades were hyped. A redesigned floor, better aerodynamics, more rear-end grip. The vibe inside the garage was hopeful. The words from the paddock were clear. This weekend would be a step forward. But by the time the sun set on Sunday, that confidence had faded fast. The upgrades didn't deliver what they promised. From the very first session, Hamilton knew the feeling wasn't there. The car had snap oversteer, inconsistent balance, and a set-up window that never felt stable. It didn't feel like progress. It felt like déjà vu. Same issues, just with newer parts. And what made it worse? There was silence from the team. No clear explanation from the engineers, no meaningful debrief, no fresh direction. Inside the garage, you could feel the disconnect. Hamilton wasn't just frustrated, he was starting to lose trust. And for a driver like him, trust isn't a small detail, it's everything. That final radio message summed everything up. We gave it all. That's all we had. 7 simple words that told a whole story. No shout out to the crew, no optimism, no energy, just a flat, blunt verdict. For a driver like Hamilton, who's built his career on emotion, energy, and unity, that kind of tone is rare and dangerous. Because when he starts speaking like that, it doesn't mean he's lost hope. It means he's losing patience. There's a big difference between being disappointed and becoming detached. What we heard was detachment, not emotional burnout, but emotional distance. Even the paddock could feel it. Normally, Hamilton stays back for interviews, engages with the media, rallies the team. This time, he walked off quietly. There was nothing left to say. His silence said more than any statement. It wasn't a reaction to just one race. It was a culmination of everything building beneath the surface. That silence didn't come from nowhere. Even during the race, the energy felt off. Hamilton's engineer, Riccardo Adami, sounded robotic, flat. All race long, no lift, no spark, no urgency, just bland updates. It didn't feel like a partnership. It felt like a job being completed. Meanwhile, on the other side of the garage, Charles Leclerc's team sounded completely different. Clear communication, timely strategy calls, and steady encouragement. It showed. Leclerc looked more comfortable in the car. He trusted the team. He drove with confidence. Hamilton? He was fighting the machine, not just the competition. It's not about sabotage or favoritism, but it is about balance. Leclerc is Ferrari's familiar face. The system is built around him. And when a new force like Hamilton enters that world, even with all his titles, resistance can surface quietly. In moments like these, strategy choices, car setups, radio calls, that resistance becomes visible. Equal equipment doesn't always mean equal experience. Both drivers had the same upgrades, but Leclerc got more out of them. Is it just driving style? Or is the car inherently designed around one man's comfort zone? Hamilton's car felt twitchy and disconnected. Leclerc's car looked stable and fast. And that kind of split raises serious questions. If both drivers are working equally hard, why is one constantly forced to adapt more than the other? In Formula One, feeling is everything. Confidence from the cockpit changes everything, from tyre management to overtaking. Leclerc had that confidence. Hamilton didn't. And it showed, especially when strategy failed him. His tyre call came too late. He was stuck in traffic, caught in dirty air, and lost time he never recovered. Ferrari had chances to do something different. They didn't take them. They hesitated. Again, this wasn't the first time. It's been happening all season. A pattern of playing it safe, of reacting instead of leading. For a team that says it trusts its drivers, the actions don't always match the words. Hamilton pushed. He tried everything, but the pit wall didn't back him with bold moves. And in a sport where fractions of a second matter, that kind of indecision hurts deeply. You could sense the frustration even in the body language. Post-race, Hamilton didn't engage much. No extra wave to the mechanics, no extended words with the engineers. He didn't need to say more. His silence told the story. This isn't about effort, it's about momentum, about having a clear path forward, and if that path remains blurry, the whole project loses meaning. So when Hamilton says, "That's all we had," he's not just talking about Spa, he's talking about the full campaign, the bigger picture, a season that feels like it's moving sideways, not forward. This isn't about talent, it's about teamwork, about synergy, and right now, Ferrari's house still feels divided. Leclerc smiled in post-race interviews. He said the car is improving. The team agreed. They looked satisfied, but Hamilton's body language told another story. He didn't look satisfied. He looked tired. Not physically, but mentally. If both drivers are driving the same car and giving different reports, someone's voice is getting lost. And it's not Leclerc's. The truth is, this race was more than just 7th place. It was a test. A spotlight on Ferrari's structure, their support system, and their future with a 7-time world champion. Hamilton didn't slam the team, he didn't point fingers. He just sent a message, quiet, firm, and honest. And if Ferrari doesn't hear it now, they risk something bigger than bad results. They risk losing belief from within. Because Lewis Hamilton won't wait forever. And if things don't change, this partnership might end long before anyone expected. Do you think Ferrari is giving Hamilton what he needs to win? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Because if this tension keeps rising, we're heading towards something much bigger than a radio message.